how does a team go from completely dominating their league, being probably the most exciting team in Europe to watch, not lose very many players, and then have the most pathetic defense of their title you've seen? Well, that's what's happened to Napoli this year. Let's talk about it. What an amazing title win it was for Napoli. I mean, the city of Naples has been hurting for years. They haven't won a title since 1990 when Diego Maradona was at the club. So last year was just complete magic for them. They were full throttle, exciting. They took the league with 90 points. By New Year's, everyone was like, so when are they going to win it? February? March? They were that much better than everybody. And stars were made. Lobotka, Zielinski, Anguissa, Politano. They all set new standards for themselves. Victor Osimhen showed that he is one of the best nines in the world, full stop. Kvicha Kvaratskhelia was the find of the year, a Georgian player that no one had ever heard of, and he was all of a sudden like the best winger in Europe. And with Luciano Spalletti as the manager running the show, it was just magic. So the big question would be, well, how are they going to do this year? A lot of people were concerned that Napoli's side would get totally picked apart, that Victor Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia and Anguissa and all these players would get moves to bigger clubs. But that's not what happened. The only players who left were Kim Min-jae and Chucky Lozano. But the big problem is Luciano Spalletti stepped down. And this proved to be the first mistake that led to a litany of others. And now Napoli are 9th in Serie A, and frankly, this has just been a pathetic defense of their title. So how did this all happen? Well, basically, Luciano Spalletti had arrived at a point where he was not sure whether he wanted to continue. After the title was wrapped up and the celebrations were going on, De Laurentiis and him sat down to have a dinner and they talked about stuff I don't really know, but not about his job the following season. Instead, the club just sent him an email saying, oh, by the way, we've gone ahead and activated the one-year extension on your contract until 2024. So, cool. Spalletti, who is a man of deep principle, was like, I don't like this. You guys didn't talk to me. We should have had a chat. This is not how it works. Now, President De Laurentiis came out and said 100% Spalletti will be there next season, telling this to the press. And Spalletti's response when the press asked him about that was, he should be telling me that, not you. Basically saying, all this stuff is happening without my knowledge, and I don't like it. So I am gonna go.
Respect, man, respect.
This was a massive error from De Laurentiis, and it was just the first of many. Now, when you're looking for a new manager, a lot of the time you're doing it to stabilize a team that's in disarray. But here, you have a title-winning side that was one of the most exciting in Europe, bunch of great players, and you haven't lost any really important pieces. So all you need to do is bring in someone who will help this team just keep going. Now, why De Laurentiis chose Rudy Garcia, I have absolutely no idea. Rudy Garcia was actually the coach at Al Nassr when they brought in Cristiano Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia, and it did not go well. He was having run-ins with the players, including Ronaldo, and so he was sacked. He's kind of a brooding figure, kind of looks in a bad mood all the time, and so that's probably the worst personality to bring in when you have a team with such good vibes. You could just tell that relationships were breaking down. Kvicha Kvaratskhelia was already starting to ask for a new contract, wasn't really sure he liked where he was going with things. Same with Victor Osimhen in terms of his contract dealings, and then there was, of course, this weird TikTok drama.
Oh, referee, thank you. You give me penalty. Thanks.
He then was considering taking legal action. Overall, just a total soap opera. After just 17 matches, Rudy Garcia was sent packing. But what is most damning are De Laurentiis' quotes about why he hired him and that he shouldn't have done it in the first place. He said, I should have sacked Garcia after his first day. Because someone who arrives and says, I don't know Napoli, I've never seen a match, I should have understood at that moment. What? So you're telling me that in the interview process, you didn't ask this guy sort of what he was going to do, how he was going to play, and if he'd ever seen the team play before? That didn't come up? You think De Laurentiis would probably learn, though, and not make the same mistake twice. Instead, he brings in Walter Matari.
Yeah, he's done it again. He's done it again. That is a fact.
Now, Matari had been at Naples 10 years ago, but his record since has not been good. So the idea that he would come in and make this better was ridiculous.
You know, he is a specialist in failure.
I mean, when they lost to Milan 1-0, he played 4 different formations. He could never really decide on whether he wanted to play with a back 4 or with 3 center backs. And basically, every time they got a result, it was just luck. It was just the fact that they had good players that could bail them out. So then Matari was sacked, with Napoli currently 27 points off of Inter Milan, who are in first place. It is a shocking downfall. And look, De Laurentiis absolutely stepped in it on this, but you gotta give him credit for his honesty. He said, "I blame myself because Spalletti had to stay. I repeat, I had to confirm Spalletti and see what would have happened. That was an error that led to all the rest." Yeah, you probably would have been able to convince him to just stick around. I mean, sure, he wanted to go out on top and be able to go and chill in his vineyard, but instead of having a conversation with the guy about his job, you just sent him an email saying, "We've triggered your extension. We'll see you in a few." That is not the way to handle this kind of thing. Spalletti, being a man of principle, was like, "Nope, I'm not doing it." And just like that, you hire the wrong manager and you take a title-winning team that is just spectacular and turn them into the most average unit you can think of. It's going to be fascinating to see if they can overcome Barcelona in the Champions League and make a run there, but we're really just waiting to see who they appoint in the summer to take over the team next year and how many of their star players they can actually hold on to. Because it would be sad if Napoli went another 30 years without winning a Serie A title. I'm Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football. Thanks for stopping by.